Groovy. I think that's from one of our hippie clerks in the gift shop. Groovy. Great guy. That's 2 words, people. At least they both start with G. Gifted and grizzly. Maybe like Grizzly Adams, because before he shaved his beard, he looked kind of like Grizzly Adams. Me, G is for goofy. For those that get to know Bob and know him well outside this professional facade he puts on and fools all of you with, Bob is goofy. He's got one of the best senses of humor, always fun to be around. He's made my 16 years at the Nature Center a joy to come to work and hang out with Bob all these years. P, staff says he's a picture guy. 2 words, people. Photographer. Obviously patient, passionate, and personable. All traits of Bob Gress. Me, I gotta go with photographer. I've always admired Bob's ability as a photographer. We've always joked that our photographic interests are similar, with one slight exception. Bob takes pictures of live animals, and I take pictures of dead ones. I don't have to worry about mine getting away. Bob and I have talked about going on an African safari someday, but he and his camera would have to walk in front of me and my bow. The other way wouldn't work, just for Bob. N. I'm going to start with that one. N is for knowledge. I know. It doesn't start with N, it starts with a K. I'm a writer, good God, I got spell checked. But the K is silent anyway. Bob's knowledge concerning all things natural is nothing short of incredible. If I was working on an article and I needed natural history information, I'd just ask Bob. Heck, you don't need to Google anything when Bob works next door. His knowledge of birds alone is baffling. To me, there's 2 kinds of birds. Waterfowl and everything else I call RBs. Regular birds. Waterfowl and RBs, the only 2 birds you need to worry about in this world. Not Bob. Nah, he knows hundreds, if not thousands of birds by song, flight, color, beak, shoe size. Someone will send Bob a photo and ask for identification, and he'll immediately say, well, that's a long-billed, buff-breasted, northern titillated, white-capped, eastern sapsucker that lives in blah, blah, blah. Really? Are you kidding me off the top of your head? I'm surprised you ever had a date. So much tremendous stuff in that man's head, I'm just astounded. Staff says N is for nature expert. Somebody doesn't follow directions here. They were teachers. See what you're leaving me with, bud? Nitpicker. There's somebody with an axe to grind for you. Natural. Nature nerd. That's pretty appropriate. Noteworthy. And naturally nice. And Kansas Notable Book Award winner. 5 words. She figures notable was in there, so we're good. It's killing me. C, the staff says congenial, comical, competent, charismatic, critter expert, and charitable. Bob is indeed all of those things. Me, the C is for Coke, as in Diet Coke.
2 words.
Sorensen, you stole my thunder. Yeah, it is 2 words, but I I got examples to lead with. For those of you who don't know, and many of you do, we talked about this today at lunch because it's been a thorn in my side for 16 years. Bob and I would come into the office. Most of the time I'd beat him into the office. He comes in late, leaves early. And I'm here at like 6:15, stays at like 6:30. Bob even, I won't even talk about this. Bob even beat me here this week. The last week of his life to work, Bob was here before I was and left after I did. So, to his credit. Anyway, Bob and I'd come in the mornings, say, hey, you want to flip? Flip a quarter. Loser had to buy the other Diet Coke. Bob did this each day of the year. I'd lose at least 3 days a week, sometimes 4. I don't know how he cheated, but he did. Taking advantage of I've got kids at home, I had to sell a boat. Also, I could fund this 60-cent a day habit. So just for fun, I decided to put a pencil to it, Bob. Since you're leaving, I decided to figure out where we're at. I've worked with Bob for 16 years. There's 52 weeks in a year. I'll take off 4 weeks for the times when Bob was in some faraway place I couldn't pronounce or spell, shooting photos of RVs. He's always on vacation somewhere, Costa Rica, Timbuktu, you name it. So, follow along in your head if you like, make sure my math is right. 16 years times 48 weeks gives us 768 weeks, or 3,840 days. He won 60% of the time, more like 80. So that means if I add it all up at 60 cents a day, Bob is up $460.80. When you and Mary decide to go up to the coast of Maine and hang out in your romantic evenings, sipping wine and sucking on lobster tails, I just paid for your gas to get there. You're welcome. We'll try it again one time for the road. We've done this twice today. We did it this morning when we got here. I lost. We did it at lunch. I lost. I'm willing to go one more for the road.
Double or nothing.
Yeah. Flip it, brother.
Make sure there's 2 heads.
Tails. Oh my God.
Throw me a Coke.
It was my coin, so if he's cheating, he's good. Yeah. 3 times today I've lost. That's like a week. In all seriousness, kind of wrap things up here a little bit, there's no doubt that Bob has made an impression through his work and time spent in Wichita at the Great Plains Nature Center. However, even more importantly, Bob has made his mark by being a good person. I talked about this a little bit at lunch. Bob's accolades are far-reaching, his awards are numerous, but Bob is indeed a good person. There aren't many people in this world like Bob, and I, for one, as well as our staff, the public, and anyone else who has had the pleasure of knowing and working with Bob Gress, will dearly miss him as he eases off into the sunset. Bob Gress is the face of the Great Plains Nature Center.